I won't make this video very long because I believe I covered a similar issue when Philip Seymour Hoffman passed away earlier this year. It's about the issue of drug usage and responsibility. Now, very often when I see that a celebrity has died from drugs, by the way, this is in the context of Peaches Geldof. She was a 25-year-old daughter of the musician Bob Geldof. She passed away, I believe, about a month ago. She was only 25 years old. Now, whatever way you look at it, a young woman dying at that age is tragic. Of course it is. But when these sort of things happen, I always see people coming out with things like, oh, you don't know what it's like until you've been there, drug usage is a mental illness, etc, etc, etc. I take issue with this because whatever way you gloss it over, with the exception of cases whereby people are spiked or they're violently threatened to take drugs, which sometimes happens, I'm talking about people who take drugs because for whatever reason they think it will be an escape out of the pressures that they're facing, or they want a high, or whatever the motivation is for them to start it off. In the case of the boxer Joe Calzaghe, it was dealing with fame. That's often the case. Whatever the reason is, it is a choice. So I take issue with this idea that drug users should be treated the same way as people who have serious mental health problems. Now, I accept that drug usage causes serious mental health problems, but it is brought on by the drug user. This is a fact. And one thing I notice from former drug addicts is they're very defensive and they tend to blame everybody except themselves. So you have chosen to take a dangerous legal substance. Let's not forget it's illegal, so that's you committing a criminal offence. But leaving that aside, right, you've taken a substance that is generally known to be dangerous. I mean, unless you're a complete idiot, you put a chemical substance into your body, you really have to be stupid to claim that you didn't realise it was dangerous. I mean, it's common knowledge. So, what I would like to ask is, why is it users never seem to take responsibility for their actions? They seem to blame everybody but themselves. And the thing is, it's a slightly arrogant attitude, because there's many people go through some very stressful, upsetting experiences and they don't rely on drugs to get through it. Now, this isn't a sort of holier than thou attitude. You know, I can understand the motivations that people have for doing it. All I'm saying is it's wrong to blame society for the actions that you have taken. In many parts of the world, there are very harsh consequences for taking drugs, and there are reasons for that. Now, whatever you think of legislation around drugs, I believe I made a video recently about the Mexican drug war and whether or not legalization should be an approach to that. Whatever you think about the legal status of drugs, can anyone honestly say that non-medicinal drug usage is a good thing? Let's face facts here, and I'm going to be quite blunt with this. Drugs fuck up people's lives. They put you into a place whereby you feel that you're invincible. In the case of hallucinogens, they make you do all sorts of I don't know how anyone could rationally argue that putting chemicals into your body or taking a substance that alters your thinking is a good thing. Now, I know drug users will turn around and say, oh, well, look at the damage from alcohol and cigarettes, tobacco. Well, that's true. I'm not disputing that. What I am saying is that it's ridiculous to try and claim that drugs are anything other than bad. Even if they make you feel like you're in heaven, can anyone honestly say that there aren't long-term effects from Class A drugs? What we have here is a young woman who's died at the age of 25 as a result. But I'll just finish off here. I think it is utterly... I get a little bit annoyed when I hear drug users coming out with, oh, you don't know what it's like, you're being judgmental, etc. But they're blaming everybody except themselves. I'm sorry, but if you take an illegal substance that is widely known to be dangerous, you and you alone are to blame for the consequences. Now, I do take a sympathetic approach in terms of giving drug users help and so on, and I'm not suggesting they should be criminalised. However, I do resent them not taking responsibility for their own actions. And if you are someone who's had a background in this, you might be getting pissed off with what I'm saying, but nothing changes the fact that you chose to take the drug. That's the fact. And if I, for example, if I get drunk out of my mind and do something stupid, that's my responsibility. It's the same principle. I'll leave it there.